For most of our lives, we are taught that healing is about becoming a better version of ourselves, a stronger version, a more confident version, a more successful version, a more evolved version, a more healed version. And while that sounds inspiring, I've come to believe that it may be incomplete. Because after spending years working with people, I've noticed something interesting. The deepest healing rarely feels like becoming someone new. More often, it feels like coming home to parts of yourself that were buried, forgotten, protected, adapted around. And perhaps the greatest misunderstanding about healing is that we've been looking in the wrong direction. What if the goal was never to become someone else? What if the goal was to remember who you were before survival became your identity, before people pleasing, before the self doubt, before the fear, before the over responsibility, before all of the adaptations that helped you to navigate life? Not because those adaptations were wrong, but because they were never meant to become who you are. Throughout this series, we've explored many different experiences, repeating patterns, difficulty letting go, feeling drained, losing yourself, self doubt, responsibility, feeling stuck, thinking about the past. And for those of you I haven't met yet, my name is Tina Brigitini. Welcome to my channel. Make sure that you follow this whole series in the playlist. And if you followed the journey, you've probably noticed a common thread. None of these experiences appeared randomly. Each one developed for a reason. Each one represented an adaptation, a strategy, a response, a way of navigating life. And that's important because it changes the entire conversation. The issue was never that something was wrong with you. The issue was that something happened to you and your system responded. And this is where many people become trapped. At first, a survival strategy is simply a response. A child becomes quiet, helpful, independent, responsible, hyper aware, protective, accommodating, overachieving. The strategy serves a purpose. It helps them to navigate their environment. But over time, something happens. The strategy becomes identity. I'm the responsible one. I'm the strong one. I'm the helper. I'm the caretaker. I'm the peacemaker. I'm the achiever. I'm the independent one. And eventually, people stop seeing the adaptation. They begin seeing themselves. And that's where healing becomes difficult. Because now it feels as though changing the pattern means changing who you are. One of the most heartbreaking things I've witnessed is how many people lose themselves while trying to survive, not intentionally, gradually, one adaptation at a time. They become so focused on what others need that they lose touch with what they need, so focused on keeping peace that they lose their own voice, so focused on being strong that they stop allowing themselves to be supported, so focused on being who everyone else needs them to be that they stop asking a simple question: who am I beneath all of this? And for many people, that question feels surprisingly difficult to answer. Here's the beautiful part: the authentic self doesn't disappear. It gets covered, protected, adapted around, but it remains. And the part of you that is curious, creative, authentic, connected, alive, present, whole, it's still there. It may have been hidden underneath years of responsibility, years of survival, years of adaptation, but it never left. And this is why so many people experience moments during healing where they suddenly feel like themselves again. Not because they became someone new, because they reconnected with something that was always there. See, most self development focuses on improvement, become better, become stronger, become more successful, become more disciplined, become more confident. And there's nothing wrong with that. But healing often moves in a different direction. Healing is less about addition and more about subtraction, removing what no longer belongs, releasing what no longer serves, questioning what was built around survival, until what remains is something more authentic, more natural, more aligned. One of the reasons healing can feel so emotional is because it often feels like a reunion, not a reinvention, a reunion. A reunion with parts of yourself that you've been separated from. Your voice, your truth, your intuition, your desires, your boundaries, your capacity for joy, your capacity for connection. The parts that became hidden while life required something different from you. This is why healing can feel both beautiful and painful at the same time. You're not becoming someone new, you're rediscovering someone familiar. So instead of asking, who do I need to become? Try asking, who have I forgotten? That question changes the direction entirely because now the goal isn't self improvement. The goal is self remembrance. The goal isn't fixing, the goal is reconnecting. The goal isn't becoming worthy. The goal is recognizing that your worth was never lost in the first place. If I had to describe healing in one sentence, it would be this: healing is the gradual process of separating who you are from what you had to do to survive. And again, healing is the gradual process of separating who you are from what you had to do to survive, because they are not the same thing. You are not your anxiety. You are not your people pleasing. You are not your self doubt. You are not over responsible. You are not your survival strategies. Those are things you learned. They are not who you are. And as we close this series, I want to leave you with one final thought. Perhaps the goal was never to become a different person. Perhaps the goal was never to fix yourself. Perhaps the goal was never to spend your life searching for what was wrong. Perhaps the goal was to understand yourself, to understand your patterns, your adaptations, your experiences, your story. And through that understanding, begin reconnecting with the person who was never broken, the person who was never lost, the person who simply adapted to life the best way they knew how. Because healing isn't becoming someone new. Healing is remembering who you were before survival became your identity. And once you remember that, everything begins to change. Now, as you've followed this series, I just want to remind you that I do private healing retreats for those who choose to move your life forward and step back into your authentic self. Make sure that you follow this whole series in the playlist, and remember to like and subscribe. Many blessings to you. Tina Bridgettini here.